How are we doing this afternoon? Everybody get a nice lunch, a little lunch break. I'm on the West Coast, so it's more of a mid-morning brunch break. Yeah, so today you get me back to back. Uh, Earlier this morning we did a lesson on the sniper trades, both 1.0 and 2.0. Actually had a live trade in there to demo. And good, John. It was a muffin. I had a blueberry muffin. So big breakfast for me. And this session here, session number 2, we'll actually do a lesson on scanning for and setting up, marking up your charts for upcoming trades so that you're ready. The muffin. That's right. So, and then D-Man comes on after me, and then Nate comes on at 3. So buckle in. Make sure you've got some coffee and or a drink, I guess, and just brace in for 3 straight hours of teaching. Yeah, and the session earlier I recorded and posted, and I posted a link to. If you scroll up in chat, you should be able to find it. Finnegan, you had 6 fried eggs on English muffins, open faced. Well done. Are you bulking for something? My goodness. Yeah, and I saw some people asking about this. A link to this spy chart now. What will you won't get this ready aim fire, but you will get the RSI and the MACD. And when I send this, I copy it and then I send the this is the sniper chart. Okay, and so when you click that and open it, it'll open up in a new window with this indicator, and you won't be able to do anything with it. But if you go up into the area where you can save a layout, you can save it, name it whatever you want to, sniper, and then you should be able to, within TradingView, it'll show up in your list of layouts, and then you can load it for yourself and make changes to it. So some people were asking, I can't make any changes to it. What are these indicators? Once you save it and put it into your own list of types of charts, then you should, without any problem, be able to make changes to it, use it, look at different charts, etc. So let me know if you're having any trouble with that. Oh yeah, breakfast and lunch together. I do that a lot as well. Man, it's usually a bigger meal than most. So, okay. Any additional questions on how to get that chart? And then the mods also just put in. I love the big mod. Put in a link to that sniper training session from earlier this morning. If you want to watch that, during your downtime or off market hours or whatever. That was a full hour on the sniper trade. Yeah, for the free version of TradingView, this probably doesn't work because I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm using 5 different indicators, and on the free version, I think you can only put 2 indicators on. I'm not sure. So yeah, to get all of these, you would definitely need to upgrade your TradingView. Okay, so today's session is not about the sniper. This afternoon's session, we are going to scan and mark up charts for the TPS style of trading that Nate did a lesson on yesterday. And the as I warm up, can I spy 2-minute chart? All right, we'll go back. Spy 2-minute Sniper 2.0, can't define the target. You're in a 2.0? To the upside? Did you get in here? Yeah. I mean, there's a number of places. I mean, you should be at 25%. So if you set that, you should be fine. I would have probably taken something off into this spike here because it lines up with this break there. Sorry, that's a terrible straight line. It still looks valid. You know, if you see a double top there, that would be another place. I mean, a good target is, this combination of VWAP and this point of control level, right? So that could be a good target, but, is there enough buying to get there? I'm not sure. So for me, that's why I usually have a 2 point, like my bracket order, my OCO order set up. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you. I want you to do what you want to do, right? I can't tell you if it were my trade, you know, and I was, I'm usually shooting for 25%. And so when we kind of did this, that's where I would have probably tried to take it off into that spike with a preset order in there. But there's also an opportunity for this thing to be moving off the bottom and back into VWAP. That's the nice thing about VWAP. So, again, not telling you what to do, just telling you what I would do if I was in it. The TPS indicator, where's my other chart, is this is the TTM squeeze, but this one is called Squeeze Pro by Make It Zero. Yep, thanks, John. John's always Johnny on the spot. Hey, that works. Johnny on the spot. All right. I love that. That's what I'm just going to call you from now on. Look at me. I'm just getting creative. He's Johnny on the spot. Okay, so back to our training session here. Part of finding these TPS style trades and knowing when to get in and getting a good entry point is so important. And what appears to be magic, where you'll see Nate or myself or D-Man or whatever will put in, I'm getting into SMMT right here. And to the new person, it would appear that we just opened up our trading platform and typed in SMMT and was like, oh, I think this looks good right here. I'm going to buy it right now. And that is definitely, that occasionally that will happen as you're scanning and looking for things. But what really happens is the grind behind the scenes. And I think it's important to understand the preparation level that happens when we get into these trades. We already know that there's a good setup generally. We already know that there is a level that we want to take a trade off of, and then it's just having those names in a watch list and alerts on your trading view so that when the name comes into a level that you want to buy, you're ready. And so it gives you an alert, you pull it up, you understand that that's the chart you're looking for, and it's time to buy, and you already kind of have an idea of which option you want to buy, right? So for us, we use SAM. So SAM is our proprietary scanner that helps us find these TPS setups. I know Nate, I believe yesterday I was somewhat in and out, so I believe Nate yesterday did a session on SAM, but this is our scanner in SAM, and this helps us find A plus setups. And what you'll see is I love to look for what I call a nested A plus setup, which means you have 3 or 4 in a row. So you know that squeeze is solid, and you can watch the squeeze fire on the 1 minute, on the 78 minute, on the 190, on the 130, if it all starts going in your direction. Now, my personal favorite time frame is the 30-minute time frame. So I love to look for something that's on a 30-minute time frame. And here, you know what I can do for people that can't hear? I can toggle the sound on right here. Because, of course, they can't hear me. Rob, that SMMT trade is not mine. That's a Nate Bear trade. But look at what SMMT is doing right now. It's coming up here to test these highs. So I would imagine any purchase that wasn't up here around 21 is in the money, profitable if you bought a call. And so Nate, let's see here. He's closing his 920s for 30%. Looks like he bought them at 7:14 a.m. right? Which I think that's my time, right? So that would be 10:14, right? So he bought them right here, right? So if you're buying or adding to SMMT, right, probably from yesterday in this area, and now flipping them out for 30% as they come up to there. That makes that, I can see that clear as day. Yeah, if you were trading them up here, right, and you didn't add here when he added, then you're probably 10 or 15% instead of 30. So that's also part of it. But this is a great looking trade. So back to what we do is we go through our scanners. So this is SAM, which we'll use today. I also have a Thinkorswim scanner that I use occasionally. They actually scan for the very similar things. But SAM is just much more powerful, giving us A plus setups, showing nested squeezes. It's a really amazing tool that I use constantly. So what we have here, we're going to look at. I'm going to move this off of my screen, obviously, when we get there. But we're going to look at VRSK. We're going to look at eBay. We're going to look at UNH. Right. We're going to look at low. We're going to look at ball, and then I'm going to flip over, right? And I'm going to go to the NASDAQ. I'm going to search by S up. VRSK is still on there. PEP we're going to look at. Anything that has, 30-minute, 1 hour, 78 squeezes in that category is really what I want to look at. And then we're going to start marking them up. And this is the grind of trading, right? This is where we sit here and go through charts, and we ask in the room. A lot of times people come into the room and say, oh, hey, check out such and such on a 30-minute chart, or and that's what helps, right? If somebody just comes in and I'll do it now and writes SMMT question mark, and we're like, okay, I'll look at SMMT, but I have no idea what you're looking at and what time frame I should look at. So if you have charts as we go through this and we start going through the scans, if you have charts that you want to look at, you want me to look at, put in the name, put in the time frame, and then usually it's also helpful to put in the put in like the edge that you're wanting us to look at, right? Is it a sniper? Is it a TPS? Is it a inside candle break? So, right. So ID wants me to look at KVUE, but I don't know what time frame. But it is in a trend, and it probably has a 10-minute squeeze, 15, 3. Yeah, maybe well, it's got a 15-minute squeeze. It's not quite an A plus yet, right? This could turn into an A plus, and an A plus, if you remember, I'm guessing Nate went over that yesterday. Like I said, I wasn't in here in the later afternoon, but we're looking for a yellow momentum swing in our histogram, and if we get a yellow bar right there and it closes, then that becomes an A plus setup, right? A momentum shift. That's right. So so we have Kenview on the 15-minute chart. Looks pretty interesting. Let's add that. Let's see here. KVUE. Okay, that's in my watch list. So now I'm making a watch list of names that I think are interesting that we can come back to. What was the other one that you put in there? ID turn. Whoa, I don't think I'm going to find anything on it on turn. A little extended, 5-minute, 3-minute. How's that look on the daily? I mean, that thing is rolling, but it's it's a low price stock. I don't know what it's going to have for options. I didn't even look at KView's options either. It might be at a $23 stock. It might be just a stock play versus an options play. Let's see. We've got low. Yeah, Lowe's looks pretty good on the daily. It's got some. It's a little extended at the moment. Right. We want to. Our goal is to buy down here at support and sell into resistance. Right. So there's not a setup here yet that I love, and it's broken a recent high. So I'm gonna put that one. I'm not gonna put that one on my list. Baba on the 10-minute. I want things that are going to be a little further out. Okay, and then I will touch on what this indicator on the left-hand side is here. This is volume profile, but I'll show you how we use that when we get all of our our scans in. Okay, so I'm over here on another screen, and I'm pulling up SAM, and so we're going to look at VRSK, and you guys can do this with me, right? I'm looking at a scan on a 1 hour, and so I want to look at the chart on a 1 hour. That's interesting. I don't love it. Let's look at AVY. Okay, AVY has a 78-minute. I don't love it. Okay, and what you'll learn is, we have a small uptrend here, but we have a bunch of traffic here, bunch of traffic here. Like, I want things that look like they're ready for clear sailing, right? And it's just sort of going sideways here on the daily. So I'm gonna move past that one. I'm gonna go back to a 30-minute chart. Let's see, CI has a 1 hour. That looks somewhat interesting. Kind of making this ascending triangle pattern. right? I think that one's interesting on a break up through here. So I'm going to put that on the chart. CI. Okay. So I'm building this watch list over here of names that I like. And you see, you know, what direction do ascending triangles usually break? They usually break to the upside. Okay, and knowing those patterns, right? As we get a break of this top, we'll probably see a retest and then a push higher. Love to buy it off of this lower trend line if I could. But we'll come back and we'll mark that one up. So the other one was eBay. Yeah, eBay is pushing this high. It pushed up. It's coming back in to retest. How does that look on? God, it just does not look like it wants to do. What a crazy looking daily chart. It just looks like it wants to go, but it has so many candles. We'll put eBay on here. We'll come back to it because it's not bad. Let's see, UNH. Okay, we have UNH on, what did I say that was on? God, that goes all the way to a 195. I like that one, but I'm going to move past it. We just looked at lows. There's Adobe. What do we see here? Adobe's interesting off of this level here. So we'll put Adobe on the chart. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Ball. Yeah, that one looks okay. I'm going to move past it. Let's see. Pep. Pep is kind of interesting. Here's the daily. That's just got so much traffic. I'm going to move past Pep. I'm not going to do anything with it. TYL. Ooh, I like TYL here. That's on the daily, huh? Oh, I bet that's going to be pretty expensive. So then what I'll do at that point, like if it's a name I don't recognize, like TYL, what I'm going to do is before I'm going to put that on my watch list, I need to check and see if the options are tradable. Also, as you can see, this is a, you know, almost $600 stock. I love that we're sitting right under $600. I think that's a magnet. I think it's going to want to go find it. But when I look at the options, look at the spreads. This is what we call unplayable, right? Unplayable. Those are just massive spreads. And they're weekly options. I mean, sorry, they're monthly options. I'd like to see something that has, I generally like to see something that has daily options, but those are absolutely unplayable. Right. So that's not going on my list. If I want, you know, we can, you know, you could trade, you can play the stock, the underlying stock. That's totally fine. But that's not going to be a play for me on a TPS option style trade, right? So let's see, AMGN. No, I don't love that one. Let's see, BX. I don't love that one. Cost. Oh, I'm going to like this one. And we've been playing cost on and off in the room the last few weeks. And you can see we had a channel here. We broke up out of that channel right into that level. I'm going to put cost on the list. I like it. Okay. What else do we have? FTNT. You know, in the market, we're not going to see a lot of these perfect TPS, you know, woodpecker patterns at the moment because of the way the market's been the last KMB, the last few days. Watching that one. Let's see. Lin. MDT. Okay, MDT. That's interesting. Let's see how it is on the daily. Daily's pretty good. That thing might want 100. I'm sure MDT has decent options. So then I come over here and I grab my options. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what, you know, a $5, $6 spread there. That's a playable option. So I'm going to put MDT on the list. And, you know, this is kind of boring stuff, right? But you've just got to grind through your lists and see, you know, MDT was probably the best looking chart I've seen yet. Again, we come back to some of these names. As I switch, I want to look at the NASDAQ. You know, again, and I'm just running this scan off of SAM here, right? So we already looked at VSK. We were taking a glance at Adobe. Let's see what else we have. We have Fast. Let's see. You know, Fast on a. Oh, I like this. I'd like to see Fast. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I'd like to see Fast break that level there, maybe. It's a nice 10-minute squeeze. Is it A plus? That's a little on the dicey side. Okay, I'm gonna put Fast on there. Anybody else have any names they want to add to the list? I saw a couple. I did look at Ball. I didn't like it. Toll, did we look at that one? Yeah, the builders are up. That one's kind of interesting. Let's put that on the chart. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at a couple more. PLTR. Yeah, oh, sorry. That one we're playing, right? Okay, that was a gap up that's trying to move. It didn't quite get us to where we wanted to this morning with D-Man. Remember that? So I like PLTR. Let's put that one on there. Let's see what. Let's see if we have SPGI. Ooh, knee. I used to love trading knee back in the day. SPGI is interesting. How are its options? Are we in that one as well? 370. They're a little spready. Yeah, I'm gonna let that one go. Although if you like to play stock, this one's got a nice little flag forming here. Okay, let's look at a couple more, and then I've got some in chat. TJX. Nope, that thing fell apart from earlier. TMUS. Some of these I might have looked at already. UNP. WDay. Okay, and then let's see, Burl. I know we're already watching Kava, right? Yeah, Kava looks great. Let's put Kava on there. Kava hasn't done much today, has it? Let's see, Burl Kava. Nice, Fog. Yeah, you got to double check what you enter, no question. We call that fat fingering a trade. I have fat fingered my share of trades. Nate Bear has a great store fat finger trade. Um, I'll let him tell it, but it was on Amazon one year when he was trading a really large account live on the mic. I think he bought 1,000 shares of Amazon when it was up around 1,000 or something like that. And then all of a sudden he had $1 million worth or something crazy like that of Amazon, and it went against him, and he just had to cut it. And it was live on the mic, and it was pretty funny. He was only meaning to buy. Yeah, I don't even know how much he was meaning to buy, but he's got a great story about that. Okay, so knee is interesting. It's a little extended. Like it's just sort of grinding up. I would need to find a level to take it off of, and I'm looking for some very specific stuff. We looked at HD, right? Yeah, and HD's moving. Cost is probably moving as well. Not quite. Let's see. GIS. Not going to be able to find anything on that. Not at least in the trade setup that I'm looking for. MCK. Yeah, you can find an entry on them if you want. But what I'm trying to show is how we're going to go through and scan for these items and then plan a trade on them instead of just take a trade. Okay, so KVUE, we liked that on the 15-minute. Okay, so let's start marking these up. Right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We can mark up quite a few of them, and then we won't take a trade on any of them unless they're perfectly at the right spot. But what we can do is set alerts and make plans, and this is the grind, right? This is what you have to do in the morning or at night after the market closes, or during the quieter times when the market is not doing much. Is you have to go through and find these levels. Okay, so now I like this on a 15-minute chart, right? We have our trend, right? We have our pattern with a spike up, a pullback, and a consolidation near the averages, our little bird pattern. And we have a squeeze. We don't yet have the A plus squeeze, but that's okay. It's a 15-minute chart. We'll probably have one as I'm talking, potentially. So what I'm going to come in here, and if I want to make a quick day trade on this, I'm going to go to the day low here, which is also a value area low. Okay, and I like to put a yellow line in there as my value area low. Right, I'm going to come in and put a red line at my point of control, which we've kind of rejected off of as we were bouncing. I'm going to come in and put a value area high in yellow. I'm going to come in and put a new high. I like to put that in green. Okay, so I have a value area low, point of control, value area high, a spike high, which is going to be a target 1, and then I'm going to use my Fibonacci tool here, and I'm just going to draw the high to the low of the pullback, and I'm going to draw a secondary line up above that at the 1272 extension. I don't know if Nate talked about that or not, but it's this Fibonacci tool here, fib retracement, and you just measure from the high to the low, and then you mark the 1272. Okay, so now on this chart, I have a stop level, right? This is my value area low, and in this case, I would use this as my stop level. Okay. I'm looking for an area in which to take this trade. I see that we've just rejected off of that. It's kind of the point of control is an over-under line, essentially. So we've come down into this base area and we've bounced and we've come back up into it and we've rejected. And so I would really like to look at picking this up somewhere around 23, right? So I'm going to put in an alert. So I will get alerted when this comes down into this 23 area, which also matches up with this little low this morning. I'd love to get it lower, but that's fine. If if it looks like it's going to round there, I can pick that up. And my target number 1 is up here. Target 1 at 23.46, and then my target 2 is up there at 23.56. Okay, and what I'd like to also know, I'm going to use this tool over here, my long position projection tool, and I'm going to say, let's say I take that off of the 34 EMA, right? I'm going to want to see what my risk reward is. So here's my stop level. Here's my first target, right? So this is going to tell me that if I take this trade and I honor my stop and I wait for my target, I have a 5.6 to 1 risk reward. Okay, so that is an acceptable risk reward that fits within my parameters. And now I'm just waiting for this to come in and give me a good entry around the 34 EMA at about $23. So I have a stop level, I have a buy level, I have 2 targets, and so target number 2 would be I'd take the bulk of my position off at target number 1. I could leave a trailer on for target number 2 if I wanted. I know what my risk reward is, so now I'm going to come over to and I didn't do this beforehand, so KView might have awful options. They're fine. So I'm playing a 10-minute chart, right? I could feasibly, if I wanted to, decide to take, these $23 calls for 30 cents, right? Because this 15-minute chart is either going to break down or it's going to run before Friday. So I know that theta is not going to kill me. If I wanted to play a safer route, I could take these $23 for 43 cents. So in this sense, I'll play the safer route. And so if I can get that to pull back into that level, I am going to purchase the 920s, $23 calls at probably 44 cents. Okay, and then I have, it always does that when I do that. There's my plan. So if my alert goes off at that down here, right, my alert would pop up here in my alerts. It would go off. I'd say, oh, I have an alert on KView. I'd pop over to KView. I'd see, okay, I have a 5.6 to 1 risk reward with a stop level and a target level, and I already know what contracts I would like to buy. Okay? So here, this is my plan, right? And as long as I can follow my plan is sitting here on my chart, right? And I'm not trading on hope, and I'm not trading on greed. I have a plan in place and I'm waiting for my level. Okay, normally the 21, this level here could be a good level to pick it up on, but it was pushing below that point of control level, which is an over-under, right? If it was above it, I would want to wait till it came back into it. But it's below it, and a few minutes ago was pushing down, right? So it was telling me we could roll a little bit further. I don't know what it's going to decide to do here. I may miss this entry altogether, right? But it almost came down to my entry spot there. It was pretty close. But then what you'll want to see is for that to break up above. Okay, so there's a plan on KVUE. Does anybody have questions on that plan? And now you have a plan in place, but you're not purchasing just yet. I could argue, for me, right here, if you want to be real patient, I mean, the best place to pick it up would be right here, right? But even if I was like, okay, we're coming into the end of the day, it's not the end of the day right now, but I like this where it's at. I'm going to buy it right here. My risk reward is still a 4 to 1. That's acceptable to me. And I'm willing to take a little bit of heat as it comes down into here. My stop is a break. So this squeeze is on a 15-minute chart. That's a good question. Okay. So this squeeze is on a 15-minute chart. So my stop would be a 15-minute candle break below this, below my stop level. Okay. If the 15-minute candle closes and it looks like this, was that a stop out? No, Ed, my risk reward here on this trade, if I take my trade right there, I am risking 8 cents, right? You can see that right here, to make 32 cents on the underlying stock. Now the options are going to move differently, okay? But that is a 4 to 1 risk reward. You always want to make sure that your reward outpaces your risk by at least 2 to 1, if not 3 to 1. That way you can be a 50% trader, 50% win-loss trader, but your profit and loss, your P&L will look like this. Right? That's what we want our P&L to do, is go up. So in this case, you could be a 30% trader win rate, and you'd still be profitable if all your trades were 4 to 1. Okay, so back to the stop out. Since I'm playing this on a 15-minute, if I got a candle like this, I would not stop out. Okay, because I'm looking for the candle open and close, and it has to close, this candle has to close below my level. Okay, and the reason for that is because this is what market makers will do, they'll run people's stops because everybody will have a hard stop set in here, let's say. They know that. They can see that. They'll run those stops, grab that liquidity, and pull it right back up. It's called a breakdown and reclaim. And so on a 15-minute chart, it'll look like this, right? But on a 1-minute chart, it'll look awful. It'll look, the thing will go like this, like this, like this, like this, and then it'll come up like this, like this, like this. Now that's 15 bars, but it's one 15-minute candle. Does that make sense? So if I'm taking this trade on a 15-minute chart, I'm going to use the 15-minute chart to stop for my stop and target. I am not going to use the 1-minute chart. I may watch it on a 1 minute, but it's not going to inform my stop out levels. If I'm trading this on a 78-minute chart, I'm going to wait for a 78-minute candle close below my stop. Now, that does sometimes, because what you'll find is you'll get wicked out on a 1 minute, and then it'll reclaim, and then boom, it's off. Because a breakdown or reclaim is a really strong bullish move. They've run stop, they've grabbed this liquidity, all the weak hands are out, and now they're going to move it up, the market makers, right? So that's why you do that on a 15-minute. Okay, so we have a plan in place, and as long as I stick to my plan, my risk, my reward far exceeds my risk. And that's how you want to make sure that your trades do that. That's important. Knowing where your stop levels are and honoring them. Okay, so that's a Kin view. Okay, let's see if we can set up at least one more before I'm out of time. Okay, let's see here. That's CI. Let's see which one we want to set up here. eBay. No, I don't want to do eBay. Might be CI. What have we got with Adobe? No. I mean, I like them all. I just, I maybe got time to set up one more. We were looking at the 78 on MDT, is that right? No, which one was it? 15 on MDT? 30? Okay, what was fast? Fast is also pretty interesting here. Toll's okay. I mean, looking at Kava, right? I like where Kava's at right now, right? You see this point of control here. The only issue is finding a very clear stop out level, because if you go to the bottom of the chart, right? Let's say that became your stop out level, then you're looking at, potentially, if you were following the sort of the TPS rules, even if you carry this up to target number 2, which is higher, definitely target number 1, this is only a 1.6 to 1 risk reward, so there has to be a spot like a value area low to have a stop level. So let's set this up. Okay. So what I just did was take the Fibonacci. I measured the pull. Okay. So I have my recent high, and then I have the 1272. So we'll put both of those in. That's at target number 2 is 132.91. Target number 1 here is 128.09. Basically 128.0 flat. We're going to hit some resistance there. So I'm going to put a line in there. This is our point of control. And then this is where it gets interesting. I'm going to use, let's see if you can see it here. I'm going to use the bottom. No. I'm going to use gap close. See this gap close here? Anything below that gap close will be my stop. Okay? So I know that's a little bit more confusing than, you know, sort of those clear value area lows. But this isn't the kind of trade where I want to give it room all the way down to this whole pattern value area low, which is way down here. That's you know, too much risk there. Okay. I'm betting that was my alert on KView. Yep. So my alert on KView just triggered. And what I would then be watching for is, I know my plan, right? I'm loading up the 920s, $23 calls, and then I'm probably watching this on a 1 minute. And I'm checking, okay, what's the SPY doing? Okay, it's not pulling. Qs aren't pulling. Okay, this is it's doing this on its own. So I'm watching into this stop level and thinking, let's see if I can find a reversal happening here. Okay, this is where, you know, a sniper type trade could come in. So you could come into the spot, your sniper chart. You could say, okay, well, I'm looking for a level in which I'm going to see a reversal right here. And so what I'm going to wait for is the signal on a 1 minute to inform my 15-minute KView chart, right? We're coming into this. If I could pick it up off of this level, or maybe we're going to get what I was just talking about with market makers, you know, flushing here and then reclaiming that pattern, right? Just because this breaks my stop level, and let's say I'm not in it yet, that's an even better time to continue to watch it, because what you do is you get this breakdown and then you'll see it reclaim and retest. Great time to buy, right? This is a little too scary sometimes to buy because it's into a gap, it's below your level. But when it reclaims that pattern, and then your risk is, right, then your actual risk is like, you know, 10 to 1. Right? So if KV is something I want to be in, now I'm watching this, okay, if I pop back over to my other chart, you know, this is my level. Now I'm just waiting for, you know, a clear sniper 1.0 reversal to happen, and that's a great entry point. So you can watch that, see what happens, right? It looks like it's holding that support level pretty well. Okay, and then if we come back over to, where did I have Kava? Did I have that up? I think it was here. Let's finish that one real quick. I got 5 more minutes. Okay, so we've got a risk reward profile on Kava. We like where it's at here at this point of control. Our risk reward based on that gap close, right? We can see is five, a little over 5.5 to 1 to target number 2, and it's 3.8 to 1 to target number 1. So those are both above, those are both well within our risk reward tolerances. So this would be target 1. Okay, so I'm going to do this one a little bit faster because I'm running out of time. This is target 2. Okay, so we have our risk reward set up. We have our stop level set up. It's right at our target level. So if I'm going to come over here and look at Kava, right, we're looking at this on a, what is this, at 130 chart. So I'm going to go out, at the very least, I'm going to go out 10 days. I like these 120s. So or you could buy a lotto here for this week for the, you could buy the 119s. So for me, the trade plan here would be, I think I would try this on a lotto style for me. So I would buy the 913s. $120 calls, right, at, what do we got? You get them for about 210, roughly. And it's at a great spot right now. So then when you can even set an alert there or a little bit lower, now when you pull this chart up, right, just like when I jump back over to KView, right, it's got all that information on here. Okay, and then Kava, it's got all this information on here, so that when I'm like, oh yeah, I was looking at the, not the 19s, the 913s. Okay, does anybody have any questions there? Yeah, that's a great question. On the KView chart, oh, let's go back here. I don't show a 15-minute squeeze firing short. Is that because my settings are different? Probably. Hold on, let me see something. Does anybody else see that firing short? Is it my settings that are a little off? Oh yeah, it's a squeeze. That's a squeeze pro. So it's still valid. It's just a squeeze pro different. Yours is probably going to black, right? Okay, at any rate, to me this is still potentially valid, but I'm watching it here really carefully. But look what it's doing, right? It's wicking through that level, at least for now, and potentially, finding a good bounce spot. D-Man, are you here? I know it's your show now, and I'm happy to give it over whenever you are ready. All right, everyone, I will get this posted up, and I'll be in chat for any questions. But D-Man, feel free to take it whenever you want it. Just don't cut me off.